Two area school districts prepare for the start of a new school year. Kerry Schneider brings us his weekly report from the Dubois County Humane Society, and Kurt Guxell talks with new Southridge football coach Scott Buning ahead in sports. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, Indiana conservation officers are investigating a pair of ATV accidents that resulted in injury in Knox County on Sunday. The first of these accidents took place near Oaktown, where conservation officers say 14-year-old Toriana Brown of Edwardsport was operating her ATV on Taylor Road near Oaktown just before 7 p.m. on Sunday, when conservation officers say she over-applied the brakes in an attempt to stop at an intersection. The ATV flipped and landed on top of her. Brown suffered head injuries and was taken by Life Flight helicopter to St. Mary's Hospital in Evansville. An unidentified passenger aboard the ATV suffered minor injuries. Officials say rider inexperience appears to be the main factor in this crash. Neither person was wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. The Knox County Sheriff's Office, the Oaktown Volunteer Fire Department, and Knox County EMS assisted. Then about an hour later, another accident involving an ATV sent two people to regional hospitals. Indiana conservation officers were called to a private lane west of Bland Road just before 8 p.m. on Sunday, about 4 miles from where the first accident had taken place. Officers say 32-year-old Joshua Ridgway and 32-year-old Chad Baxley, both of Carlisle, were operating a side-by-side off-road vehicle in the area when the vehicle hit a washout and both were thrown from the vehicle. Both Ridgway and Baxley suffered major injuries. Ridgway was life-flighted to St. Mary's Hospital in Evansville, while Baxley was life-flighted to Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. Both men are still hospitalized as of this point. Speed and alcohol appear to be the factors in this crash. Conservation officers continue their investigation of both crashes. Students in the Northeast Dubois School Corporation will be returning to school later this week. This year marks the debut of new technology for older students in the Northeast Dubois District. Students in grades 7 through 12 will be given iPads for the first time this year as part of a program that will eventually distribute iPads to students in all grades in the district. Speaking for tonight's appearance on 18 WJTS Inform, Northeast Dubois Superintendent Bill Hoaxsong says the iPads come as a result of student feedback.
We're excited about what that can do for our students and our learning. We started last fall, we started with the kids, Bill. We started asking them, you know, what's a perfect school look like? What do you need to learn? And no matter if we polled kindergarten or seniors, they all said technology, and powerful technology, and technology that was there when they needed it, and they needed the latest, greatest technology. That's what they wanted.
Hoaxsong says the technology is just part of the way that educating students has changed a lot in recent years.
Learning has changed so much from our days, Bill. It's just amazing. And you know, so much of how we learned was memorization and skill and drill. And it's just so different these days. And the resources are so much greater. And as we talked already about, the iPad is one of them. Right. And technology is just one piece of one resource, but there's so many out there.
The Northeast Dubois District reported an enrollment of 1,017 students as of the 2012-2013 school year. Staff orientation at Northeast Dubois was today, and the first day of school for students is tomorrow. The full Inform interview with Superintendent Hoaxsong is coming up later in tonight's newscast. This week also marks the return to school for students in the Greater Jasper Consolidated School Corporation. Students will head back to school later this week for the start of their 2013-2014 school year. Greater Jasper School Superintendent Dr. Tracy Lorai says students and parents should be patient the first part of the year while everyone settles back into their routine.
First of all, the first days of school are a little bit hectic. You know, we have students who are adjusting to new schedules, or they could be transitioning to new schools. And it takes us a bit of time to kind of iron out the kinks, whether it's scheduling or maybe it's transportation issues. So basically, we just at the beginning ask for everybody to just stay calm and be patient. We all work together to make sure that students do transition to their new classrooms in a positive way.
Lori says students are not the only ones that play a role in education. She says parents are a very big part of the process in making sure that students get the most out of their education from the Jasper School District.
The schooling of a child is a partnership, and it's not one-sided. It takes the parent, the student, and the school to make the kind of commitment and share in the responsibility in ensuring students get what they need educationally. And we are extremely fortunate to have parents who are very interested in their child's education as well as getting involved. And that is fundamental as well.
As of the 2012-2013 school year, the district reported an enrollment of 3,274 students. The first day for teachers in the Greater Jasper School District is tomorrow, and students will report back for a full day of school on Thursday. Tune in to the 18 WJTS News tomorrow night at 7 and 9:30 for more of the Inform interview with Dr. Tracy Lori. A Southwestern Indiana State Trooper wounded in the line of duty back in June recently visited one of the companies that helped make the vest that he says allowed him to survive. 32-year-old Jared Lentz, who was wounded in a shootout in the Daviess County town of Montgomery back on June 17th, traveled to North Monmouth, Maine recently to meet with workers with Tech Industries Incorporated to tell them his survival story. Lentz exchanged gunfire with 60-year-old James Jones of Shoals at a Montgomery-based gun shop. Jones, who was holding up the gun shop, died at the scene. Lentz told employees at Tech Industries during his visit that he was shot 6 times during the exchange of gunfire. Lentz says he appreciated being able to go on this trip because it gave him the opportunity to thank several of those who contributed to saving his life. He says he likely would have been killed almost in an instant had he not been wearing the protective vest. A company spokesman says Lentz's visit marks the second time that someone who credited the company's materials with saving their life made a visit to employees. Company officials say the company's equipment has been credited with saving 14 lives, including Lentz's. Tech is not the producer of the actual vest, but they do make the ballistics material in the vest that is used for protection out of Kevlar fibers. Lentz says he has been doing well in the 2 months since the shooting took place. He returned to duty on July 1st. Coming up after the break, Kerry Schneider brings us his weekly report from the Dubois County Humane Society, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform with Superintendent Bill Hopesong of the Northeast Dubois School Corporation. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.